Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we sit down with Representative Mike Pompeo of Kansas for the second part of our two-part interview about the National Standardized GMO Labeling Bill. And Inside Kansas Ag, we get important information farmers and ranchers need to know from Kansas Soybean and Kansas Farm Bureau. And in News You Need to Know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, we'll look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. The Sorghum Checkoff has announced its first consumer-facing brand, Sorghum Nature's Super Grain, along with the launch of SimplySorghum.com. The goal of the Sorghum Checkoff consumer branding effort is to educate consumers about the wholesome goodness of sorghum and the endless possibilities it has to offer in a healthy diet. Jennifer Blackburn, Sorghum Checkoff External Affairs Director, says the new consumer branding effort and the website will help enhance consumers' awareness of sorghum's healthy characteristics through recipes, cooking tips, new sorghum products, and restaurants using sorghum and more. Visit sorghum.com for more information. The North American Meat Institute says the economic output of the meat and poultry industry has surpassed $1 trillion, which is almost 6% of the U.S. gross domestic product, and the industry is responsible for 5.4 million jobs. President and CEO Barry Carpenter says, "We are proud that we provide millions of quality jobs in every state and in every sector of the U.S. economy." A state-by-state breakdown of the industry's economic impact is available at meatfuelsamerica.com. Nominations are still being accepted for the 19th Annual Innovative Dairy Farmer of the Year, an annual award co-sponsored by IDFA and Dairy Herd Management magazine. The winner will be honored at the Dairy Forum 2017, January 29th through February 1st in Orlando, Florida. Nominations should be active U.S. dairy farmers that are improving on-farm efficiency through progressive management practices, production technologies, and/or marketing approaches. Nominations must be submitted by August 19th. Go to idfa.org for more information. A spokesman for Campbell Soup recently spoke out on the GMO labeling bill. Senior Food Law Counsel Steve Armstrong says Campbell's was the first food company to support mandatory GMO labeling. "We believe that GMOs are safe. We believe that they are playing a critical important role in the food supply." Armstrong goes on to say that the GMO debate has enhanced Campbell's belief in transparency, with 60% of consumers supporting a government-required label. And in local news, U.S. Wheat Associates and 9 state wheat commissions, including Kansas, hosted 75 flour millers and buyers from 16 countries at a Latin American and Caribbean buyers conference back in June. Kansas Wheat CEO Justin Gilpin gave an inside look at hard red winter wheat and the increasing investment and innovation that farmers are leading, and told the buyers that the quality of the new hard red winter wheat crop in the U.S. is very good. A wheat buyer from Colombia who attended the conference said it was amazing to experience the whole process of wheat production and marketing, seeing the land and the technology farmers have and how they work to produce the best quality wheat. A U.S. Grain Council trade team of high-volume Chinese sorghum buyers was in Kansas this summer as part of a tour aimed at strengthening the relationship between Chinese sorghum buyers and U.S. suppliers. Members of the team represented organizations that purchased 2.5 million metric tons or 98 million bushels of U.S. sorghum in the 2014-15 marketing year. The team made several stops in Kansas to local farms and businesses that produce and utilize sorghum, as well as a stop at Kansas State University to learn about poultry and swine nutrition. Up next in our Ag Feature, we sit down with Representative Mike Pompeo of Kansas for the second part of our two-part interview about the National Standardized GMO Labeling Bill. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're doing our second part of our interview with our Congressman Mike Pompeo, and we're in his Wichita office. So Mike, again, re-election year, and your time is valuable, so I appreciate you taking the time, and I know our viewers appreciate hearing from you and getting to spend 6 to 12 minutes with you and really kind of hearing what's going on.
Wonderful.
You are traveling the state. Farmers are struggling. The district you represent is heavy agriculture. What's the word? I mean, commodity prices aren't helping.
So everybody had the danged blessing of a really good yield this year. Lots of crops, low prices, a real challenging environment. There were changes made a couple years back in some of the farm programs, and farmers are trying to adjust to figure out the economics of how that worked. They had to pick between a couple different programs.
Right. ARC and PLC,
and they're trying to figure out if they got it right and what that's ultimately going to mean to them. So there is lots of anxiety around that as well because those programs are new. They're also worried, and I'm very worried about this, and I'm not sure how we can help, but we're going to try. We're starting to put crops on the ground. I saw some just this past week where folks think that the next crop coming in right behind it, there's just not enough storage, not enough transportation to move all this product to market. An enormous challenge. We'll get some spoilage that results from that, and it's going to make this next 6 months to a year difficult for farmers and the suppliers, the folks who supply these farmers as well. Challenging times for sure.
And again, I think people who aren't in the agriculture industry don't realize the importance of highway bills, rail, all of those things that go into getting food or raw material to be made into food.
I'd add to that trade.
Yeah.
Both presidential candidates today are talking about trade in ways that scare the heck out of me. Both political parties. This is not partisan in any way. We, Kansas agriculture, has to have access to these markets. We have to have the ability to grow the product, to raise the livestock. We have to have the capacity to move that product through roads and rail and all the various waterways through our various waterways. We have to have all of that infrastructure to move it. But then we have to have customers. We have to have markets that we can sell this product into. So I am very hopeful that we will be able to pass trade agreements that benefit Kansas agriculture and allow us to sell the most affordable food in the world into markets that have sometimes remained closed to us. A big task in front of us.
The U.S. is not the only country that grows cattle, corn, soybeans, and wheat.
No, that's right. And these other countries, I assure you, they want to steal our markets like nobody's business. There's been a lot of objection to TPP. It's not perfect. But boy, I'll tell you what, if we don't do that, the Chinese, the Russians, someone else is going to figure out how to take those markets in Southeast Asia and other places around the world, and Kansans will be the losers as a result of that. Congress has an obligation to get those trade agreements right and get them passed.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to spend the last 3 minutes with the Congressman. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're in Wichita at our Congressman Mike Pompeo's office, and again, re-election year. You always feel like your job's not done. Even though you get to spend time there, you always feel, I just got more to do. There's more to do. And what do you think you still have left to do?
Oh, boy, goodness, the list is long. Sadly, I wish I've been at this now 5 years and change, and I'm running for re-election. We spent these 5 years really pushing back very hard against an administration that doesn't understand Kansas farms, whether it was the Clean Power Plan or Waters of the U.S. or the Lesser Prairie Chicken, all the things where this administration has imposed enormous burdens at no benefit to America and costs on Kansas farmers. We've pushed back, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. So that work remains. We've got to make sure that we have clean air and safe drinking water, but we do so in a way that preserves the capacity to grow the food for the next billion people. So lots remains there. I also just wrapped up a big task. I was on the Benghazi Committee. It's not related to agriculture, but an important task to make sure that we have lots of folks who come off farms and their families go enter service in the Army or the Navy, the Air Force, or the Marines. When we send folks into harm's way, we got to make sure we take care of them. And in that instance, America did not do that. So I felt that task was incredibly important. And then we're going to work diligently, too, to make sure that this threat that we see around the world in places like Orlando and San Bernardino, this threat from radical Islamic terrorism, is challenged as well. This president has allowed it to grow and to fester, and it's now coming here to America. We've got to make sure that in places like Kansas, that threat doesn't grow and increase and put all of us at risk.
Well, not only that, we're in the middle of the country, and I would consider us a conservative state. And you look at some of the other places on the east and west coast where guns are a big issue.
You bet.
And people are talking about guns and gun control.
Brad, that's a great point. That's not going away. For 6 years, this president has tried to increase the capacity for the government to interfere with ordinary Kansans' right to carry firearms. It's frankly one of the places we've been most successful at pushing back against him. 3 times they have assaulted American gun rights, and 3 times we've pushed back successfully. It's not going to end, but I'm confident that there are enough Americans who understand this fundamental freedom in the same way that I do, and we'll be able to keep everyone's Second Amendment rights intact. I promise to work diligently to make sure that that happens.
And we've got about a minute left, so if someone wants to find out more about you, if they're maybe new to your district and want to find out more about you, how can they find that information out?
So there's lots of ways. One, we'd love it if they'd sign up to get my newsletter. You can go, just Google Pompeo, and you'll see my official office pop up. It's Pompeo it's pompeo.house.gov is the website. If you want to look at the campaign side, you can go take a look at that too. It's all right there. But if you get our newsletters, it's a great way to communicate. We'll tell you what we're doing, but it's also easy for you to respond. and tell us what you think of how I'm doing. Let me know when I get it right and when I get it wrong.
Well, no matter what, we're going to have a new administration coming in.
I'm counting on it.
In November, so we're someone who's going to be in the office. So, Congressman, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
You're watching Kansas Ag Report.
Farmers, are you using reduced tillage practices? Do you grow cover crops? Have you taken steps to reduce soil loss or to improve water quality? Those are a few conservation methods used today to help produce sustainable U.S. soybeans. If you are using any of them or others, the American Soybean Association wants to hear about your efforts, and you could win a Conservation Legacy Award. All U.S. soybean farmers are eligible to enter the awards program, which recognizes those who distinguish themselves through outstanding environmental and conservation practices while remaining profitable. Entries are judged on soil, water, and input management, farmstead protection, and conservation and environmental activities. ASA will select 3 regional winners, then a national winner. They will receive expense-paid trips to Commodity Classic March 2 to 4, 2017 in San Antonio, Texas. Recognition at the ASA Awards Banquet at Commodity Classic, and features about their farms and conservation practices in Corn and Soybean Digest and special online videos. ASA and the United Soybean Board are among the award sponsors. Learn about past winners and how to submit applications at soygrowers.com/conservation-legacy on the web. Applications are due September 2.
Many of the factors that affect agriculture production are largely beyond the control of you, the producer. Good health, including mental health, is a key factor that contributes to one's ability to keep farming. According to recent studies, 20% of any population has mental health complications, and that certainly includes farmers and ranchers. Stigma and privacy concerns associated with mental health issues may mean that many people do not seek out mental health services. Symptoms of poor mental health include such things as persistent worry and fear, apprehension and uneasiness, avoiding others, feeling sad, significant weight change or changes in appetite, problems sleeping, low energy, difficulty concentrating, frequent thoughts of death or suicide, substance misuse, and unexplained changes in physical appearance or behavior. If you have any of these symptoms, consider talking to your healthcare provider about a further assessment. When you speak to your healthcare provider, be open about stressful issues in your work and home life. Be familiar with your family's medical history related to depression. Make sure they have an updated list of any prescription and over-the-counter medications you take, and be aware of what your insurance coverage may or may not be for evaluation of mental health care. Above all, if you or someone you know is contemplating suicide, please call 1-800-SUICIDE or dial 911 immediately, depending on the situation.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Low-stress cattle handling will be a common theme at this year's KLA K-State Ranch Management Field Days. The Frochner family near Larned will host the August 15th event, where K-State's Justin Wagner will conduct a live cattle handling demonstration illustrating the principles of applying pressure and adjusting according to animal response. Frochner's Bar F Farms is a 3-generation family partnership consisting of a commercial cow-calf herd, stocker and growing operations, and dry land and irrigated farming. Bertrand Cattle Company at Wallace will serve as host for the August 16th Ranch Field Day. In addition to the low-stress cattle handling demonstration, CattleFax analyst Ethan Oberst will discuss market trends and economic considerations for the beef industry. The Bertrand family owns a commercial cow herd and purchases calves for their grow yard and to stock native pastures. Another aspect of the Bertrand business involves custom backgrounding calves and feeder cattle. The Moyer Ranch near Junction City will host the August 18th Field Day. Attendees will see firsthand how late-season prescribed burns are controlling and reducing Sericea lespedeza infestations in native grass pastures. Options for cattle handling and working facilities will be another topic addressed at the Junction City event. All 3 of the field days start at 4 p.m., include informational sessions, and conclude with dinner. More specific information is available at kla.org.
Good morning. I'm Derek Hermish with Paragon Ag. We are now nearing the end of the weather trading window for the fall grain markets. The month of August could still provide some fireworks for the soybean trade, but the corn crop has done most of what it is going to at this point, and by most accounts is looking to be a big corn crop nationwide. We did have some excess heat early on in the month of June, which we had not seen in the last couple of years of outstanding corn production. And there is still some speculation that those hot temperatures may keep us from having a national trendline yield of 168 bushels per acre or higher. But that does not seem to be the majority opinion. As we work out of the weather market season back into harvest, post-harvest markets, it will become more important to pay attention to some of the long-term price indicators, such as the US dollar, crude oil, and keeping a watchful eye on South America. The groundwork has been laid with a poor safrinha corn crop for Brazil earlier this year that we will not see nearly as much competition with them when it comes to corn exports. Combine that with the potential of historically low prices, and it would be logical to expect some demand growth for U.S. corn, at least from an export standpoint. Increasing export business is not going to rally the corn market $1 overnight like a weather scare can, but demand growth can have a big effect on the long-term picture. I'm Derek Hermish. Have a good day.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas. At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.